But I think VP needs to be careful now that they don't fall into a similar trap where they suddenly pick too many backliners, maybe too little stuns, maybe even too little damage. I think this next pick better be some kind of initiator or stunner. Maybe not next pick, but at least then in the future picks. Kunkka kind of covers that bill a bit, right? With the adding more team fight, you get the X at least, and then you know you have a frontline hero that's also really tanky together with a DP.
This is some pretty big old beef here that VP's going to have on the front lines with these two. I see 4 Pirates.
Yeah, I think also you have a lot of flexibility between the DP and the Kunkka, right? The Kunkka can be mid, offlane, and carry. Like we said, the DP can be the same, maybe not carry, but then everything else. So 4 Pirates likely gonna pick a 5 here. There is the sniper that was banned last game.
Yeah, I'm hyped to see that because obviously VP knew something. They were like, their sniper's pretty good. We got to ban it. They don't ban it this time. It gets through.
Oh, so what is this? Is this a support Sven and a carry sniper, or is it the other way around?
I think it's got to be the support sniper, right? Surely. But then is it what 5 sniper? Well, maybe it's just mid. Right?
No. I think it's Oteka sniper.
Okay.
And a 5 Sven.
I mean, I kind of like sniper should be pretty good, right, against like the Death Prophet, because you've got that range. You're just sort of able to peep at her.
Yeah. It's pretty good against the silencer too. You don't really care about global. Like they have no real interaction. And okay, I mean, so you're gonna pay the Kunkka or the DP into the sniper lane. I mean, I'm just assuming it's carry sniper now. It might not be.
I think you're right.
It might be. But they have last pick. Remember that, right? They have the absolute last pick.
They could switch it up.
They're not gonna carry Sven and sniper mid. That's not gonna happen. One of these sniper or Sven is support, and I just don't see the value in like a 5 sniper. And what would be so scary to ban that out?
That's true. Yeah, if you consider VP's banned from game 1, yeah.
By that logic, I would think that it's a carry sniper. I also seem to remember Oteka actually playing this hero quite a bit.
It does ring a bell. Well. It rings a bell. It does.
Yeah. So I think it's and the Sven 5 is also something that has been creeping up a little bit. It used to be a thing at TI several years ago. I remember Fly playing it a lot also with heroes like Drow Ranger, carry, maybe Shadow Fiend carry and things like that, right? And the hero as a support does have potential with the armor aura, the move speed, and just having a stun, being very strong level 1. So let's see what it is in the end here, but
because it definitely feels a little risky right against the Kunkka, because Kunkka is just going to be able to, if he gets the X mark on you, the whole team's just going to be able to surround the sniper. So you have to be so careful your positioning to ensure that you're not getting X'd in these team fights.
That becomes as a less of a factor as the game progresses, though, right? Because eventually you are going to be too far away from the Kunkka.
Yeah, that he can't get that grab.
If the Kunkka is going to show to X, he's going to get lassoed, right? He's going to get jumped by something. Early on, it can be problematic. You can the lane might go so bad that you don't get to play the game. But on the other side, Sniper is a pretty strong laner, though. If you max out the shrapnel early on, you have a lot of, like, you're a very annoying laner between the headshot as well. So I kind of like what 4 Pirates are bringing here. This kind of their own identity, right? Their own niche picks into this qualifier, right? Not afraid to give it everything they got. I do think VP needs another hero to start a fight. I don't like having just one Kunkka with one X mark, because what happens when BKBs come out?
Marcy.
Okay,
that's the...
Does it a little bit as well, right? Probably going to be a DP3 with the Marcy 4 then, and then the mid Kunkka.
Sure.
Again, at 30-minute mark, it's not that obvious how you're going to start a fight, right? Because Marcy doesn't offer it and Kunkka doesn't offer it. Terrorblade, okay.
What's going on? So what's going on?
What we got here?
Yeah. So it's Terrorblade carry. It's a sniper in the mid.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, Terrorblade... I guess it's a very good Terrorblade game, right? If you look at it.
Yeah, I think so, right? You got high armor against... I mean, well, there's a lot of physical damage. So the fact you're a high armor hero is going to be feeling pretty good here, right?
Yeah, it's also a classic counter to the DP overall. Like he pops his ult and then Terrorblade is just standing there, right? You don't care, making DP basically run away with his ultimate on, right? That doesn't feel good for DP. Same. I mean, I think even the Sven Terrorblade lane is going to be pretty strong. You have the meta timings to play around, going for kills, and then when the meta's down, you just farm and chill, right?
Yeah,
I think it's yeah. I kind of like 4Pirates again.
I do honestly, especially. I feel like the Terrorblade can be kind of similar sort of timings and move around the map, similar to like just how Otsuka did on his Clinks. So I think he's, you know, he crushed on the Clinks. I think on the Terrorblade, he's got potential to do something pretty similar. And you've got to respect the fact that Natty Narwhal getting this sniper, the VP did ban out last game. VP was scared of this. They've let it through this time. It could be pretty scary.
Yeah, so the whole the idea in our heads that it's bigger sniper is like some psychological phenomenon where we think it's actually related, or do they maybe have a flexible sniper here where they can both play it really well and then cruise?
Because if it is a flexible sniper, that does explain the ban a bit more, right? Because then if it was in case of the fact that it could be carry on mid, then it kind of makes sense why VP would prioritize the ban on it as they did in game 1.
Well, it's a silver tier sniper.
Yep.
Now we don't know if he's still a Dota 2 plus subscriber, right? He might not be
true. Might have been stuck
going
at the
for
level.
those levels, but
we will see. We'll see. We've got a little pause at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, whilst we get ready for this one. There we go. Getting ready to go with this game 2. But I don't think so. I will be surprised if VP get run over the same way they did in game 1. Like that happening twice in a row, then that's like, my goodness, these 4Pirates lads, they're going to win the whole qualifiers.
They're going to win TI.
They're going to win TI. You know? It'll be quite the show if they're able to do what they did in game 1 again here in game 2 against VP. And VP's lineup is a very different lineup to that of game 1. Does still feel like the sort of the setup. It's kind of what Xmark and, you know, Marcy jumping in with the rebound, right? It's not the easiest way to set up plays. Whereas, you know, eventually you're going to have this Sven with the stun. Maybe just get Blink Dagger down the line. Obviously going to have the Blink Dagger bat down the line as well. So the single target in the initiation does seem a bit simpler for 4Pirates. But I guess VP, they do have the global silence, which is kind of the ultimate response to those sort of moves. So maybe that's VP's plan. It's sort of like they're going to let 4Pirates fight into them and then look for the turnaround.
I mean, that could be one way of doing it, and the way you actually achieve that is something that VP's lineup excel at really well, is the fighting around objectives, right? Around the Roshan with the Ursa, around the Tormentor, again the Ursa, the Exorcism, right? Around towers. So they have that going for them, VP, that they are very good at forcing those objectives. On the other hand, I think the problem with 4Pirates drafts in some aspects is that they have a lot of carries, right? They have the Sniper, they have the Bristleback and the Terrorblade, 3 farmers, right? If they don't have a good game on Batrider, who's actually going to make plays and make something happen on 4Pirates? That is a problem. That is something that they can run into in this game, where actually nobody wants and can do anything in this game. It's just going to be Sven continually dying, and then everybody's farming, right, trying to get to their timing. But we'll see. I think maybe they rely a little bit too much on winning their lanes, 4Pirates, for their heroes to play the game out.
Honestly, looks like we did have a brief pause. We're getting the question mark, yeah.
I think they're talking about that Kunkka.
Yeah, one of his items.
Immortal. I'm not sure what.
I don't know what. Yeah, what do you know what the bug is? If there was a bug.
Do you know?
No, I mean, I guess I imagine it's maybe there was some bug where like one of the abilities like doesn't show or something. But I don't know what that could be.
So there's just some kind of immortal Kunkka item or what? That then.
Yeah, that I'm guessing just bugs the animation of some skill, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe it makes something invisible, like the Torrent or the Tidebringer animation, I imagine. But I've not heard anything of that recently, so if that was a bug, maybe it was an old bug.
It seems like that. That seems to be the reason of the pause.
Yeah.
To find out something like that.
looks like we're gonna go. So I imagine it's we'll find out. You know, the Kunkka turns up to a lane and suddenly these invisible torrents or something are coming out. But which is fair play. You know, that's why Oscar, I imagine, was trying to check that now, so that if they needed to change the cosmetic, they could get it done before the game starts. But looks like we're all clear. But whatever bug is not a bug anymore. Oh, maybe still some issues. Yeah, looks like we're clear to play. So whatever the immortal bug is, it shouldn't be a problem. But we'll keep our eyes out. You boys and girls at home. Here we go. Can they do it again for Pirates?
I'm a little skeptical now that I look at their lineup, like we talked about just now. By the way, they did this exact same thing last game.
Yeah, they said exactly here, right?
In their ancients, and then they did this late smoke. Actually, very cool. I mean, that does show that they're prepared for this, right? This is a setup that they've been talking about, that they feel like is the most safe, or you know, whatever it might, that logic might be. VP did also do the same thing, to be fair. They also smoked, and he plays the same ward last game, so a bit of things to look for there. The replays for future teams. Yeah, I wonder how this game plays out, because go ahead.
No, I just wondered if they were going to try and contest for the top room, but yeah, they don't. Nothing this time, just the two bounties. Okay.
But yeah, I wonder how this game's going to play out, just because there's so many farmers on 4Pirates, right? And that just means that you are going to be playing on your own side of the map. You're going to be playing your lanes a bit longer, perhaps, than you normally would, right? Compared to last game, where you start running around with both supports and start taking towers and making moves across the map. This time around, you're going to be playing a very different style. You're going to be extending the lane phase as long as you can. Just sit and farm creeps. Whereas on the other hand, DP, they have a bit more potential to make rotations happen. Perhaps with a DP level 6, Kunkka level 6, things like that.
A little bit of a rough first wave there from Natty Narble. Only got the one CS. To get that range creep denied. Laurenov was able to find that. So imagine, I mean, do you sort of consider that the harassment that the sniper can do in the mid lane against the Kunkka enough to bully him, or is the Kunkka going to out CS him?
I do think it gets worse for Kunkka, as by level 3 with the shrapnel you are gonna get zoned quite a bit, but it's definitely not as bad this matchup as certain other melee versus sniper matchups.
Yeah,
like Ember, like I don't know, there are other matchups that are a bit worse, I think, but I mean overall sniper is a very annoying laner.
You
also have options for Kunkka, perhaps, when you start getting a bit more levels, then you can go jungle, things like that, right? Whereas other heroes might struggle more in that aspect.
Because would you imagine you just max shrapnel, right, and go for kills?
Yeah, I think so. He did go for the facet that like keeps the old shrapnel duration and doesn't have one tick. I actually don't know. I don't see that much sniper. I don't know what's normal. Maybe this, when you're playing core sniper like this, maybe it is better to have the... Because this one is actually very good, right?
Top lane.
Actually just gonna go down.
Yeah, they're able to get him with the spam. Chase him down and get that first blood, and Ottika already throwing tips out from the other side of the map.
You don't want to give a good start to mess the morale bristleback like this.
Yeah, it looked pretty darn good last game. Yeah, so if he once again gets a good timing on that early Vanguard, if he wishes to go the same route, he's going to be quite tough to bully out of this. And bottom lane, I mean, it's not looking easy for them to really pressure the Terrorblade, and if anything, they've got to be careful right on this Death Prophet. In case they want to go for some sort of early play once the level 3 is there, if they want to take a point in the meta.
Yeah. no meta yet. Actually, let's see what if he chooses to go for that, or if he just decides, okay, I'm just gonna go 2 points illusion and just farm. I have no interest in trying to get baited into going for some kill or anything like that.
Antares trying for the setup there onto Danchik, but he can just turn and trade back. Mid lane. It's we are starting to see Natty Narwhal get that lead, 19-9 against the 13-4. Pressure adding up a bit now for Lorinov. Could have a tough game last game. And right, Botomotica just holding that skill point, ready to consider whatever situation he ends up in. Do want to try and get aggressive or just focus on keeping the wave and farming up as he is.
Not too much happening. I think VP are pretty happy with the way lanes are going. I mean, realistically, both teams should be pretty happy. That's how it's going right now. I think especially top lane. I mean, Ursa Sias is good, but I think getting away with getting such a good start onto the bad and Bristleback lane is going to be very, very nice.
Oh, this mid definitely getting rougher. Lorinov having to just continue to keep the tangos out, so he's got some form of regen to be able to stay in the lane.
I think it also gets to a point where every time you try to get step up for a CS, you almost have to buy a salve afterwards, right? And then it's just not worth laning anymore. Like we see him right now, just going jungle, because like you can't just keep buying more and more regen.
One lane. Trying to go for Danchik. They've got the Metro at the ready. Danchik, he's able to get away. They didn't have enough to kill him off. See if they can escape themselves here. And Antares on the retreat. The little body blows coming in from Dahak, so they'll be able to protect their own support. The rotation coming in.
Barely level 6.
The shrapnel, it will get Antares. And now Dahak's in a rough spot. I mean, where does he go? He's got nowhere to run.
Nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go. Yeah. Only into Roshan.
Just got shot in the face.
You can't. You can't.
Just blasted there, and of course they're happy to throw out the tips that kills like this going to feel pretty good, and they know they wasted quite a bit of time of Dahak's there, where he's just sort of running around in the river. They kill him off. Haste Ring will be there for Lorinov, so will allow him to get out safely. And he's just going to look to try and turn it into a play up top. Maybe see if they can go for Mr. Morale. With the X-Mark. TP's coming in. With the stun up with the Torrent into the jump forward. They get in onto the two of them. The boat comes crashing down as well. VP, they're able to group up and clean up the both of them.
Yeah, and what are they going to do now? There's Wisdom spawning in 30 seconds. Seems like they're moving towards mid here, but it's better to just
Arrow's trying to poke the Kunkka here. It's not going to happen. Can he actually get away from this?
Here, though.
I mean, they're able to bring him back over towards the Ursa. Vichu's turned up and he's tearing apart the Sniper. Sniper gets the kill, but he goes down for that one. They get the X-Mark dragged back, and that's Vichu just casually heading over to the mid, 7 minutes in, and picking up a double kill as this carry.
I think that the fact that V-Tune is there saves this whole scenario.
Yeah, it really does.
He's actually running over there as well instead of staying in the lane. I think a lot of carry players would have just continued to farm the lane, right?
And look at this.
All serious.
He's going to get another one. Okay, Rain will take the last hit, but these are big kills to get the Ursa involved with early on.
Yeah, very, very good play by V-Tune. Because like, if he wasn't there, I think Sniper actually cleans up that fight in the river there.
VP getting themselves a bit of a lead this time. Looking much more solid from them in the early game.
Okay, TB's on bottom here. Just set up on the TB.
He's looking a
bit gate as well from Silencer.
Yeah, he's looking pretty dead here, Otaka. We start to see more of the VP that we expected to here in this game 2 opening.
Yeah, it's crazy how so little things in this way can determine the game. Because like it looked so good 2 minutes ago everywhere for Pirates, right? And now suddenly, just after 1 or 2 good rotations by the Kunkka and the Ursa, suddenly it's complete opposite. Okay, this is also the kind of nice play by the Batrider, dragging the wave away. He might end up dying for it, but still sort of worth it. Wasting the first exorcism, if you call it wasted. At least you keep the tower alive.
Yeah, it gives the chance for Otaka to maybe spend a bit more time down here now, with that tower still up. Yeah, slowing down the progress of VP a little bit on what they were trying to achieve down there.
Also seems like a harder game to play Bristleback at this phase of the game, at least, because now if you ever get caught, you will die to the Ursa. Last game, it was less liked, right? Drow just doesn't output the same amount of damage early on. And the incentive to go for the Vanguard is also lower here, because the Ursa still chews through the HP.
Ariel might start looking to get some stacks going soon. We've got some good sort of boost of gold and XP to fall back on. I'm on that. Around the mid, I mean, mid's pretty scary now. If Lorinov gets any sort of setup with the X mark and has a +1 around like Antares, very easy to get the kill. So Natty Narwhal's got to be careful with his positioning, keep his distance. Just get the invis, but unlikely to make a move with it. Just got the couple of stacks here if he wants to clear those up safely. Same time though, smoke plays coming in from VP, heading the way of Pedanchik and Attacker down in this bottom lane, coming through the twin gate as well. They've got the 4 of them, and Rain, of course, he's level 6, has the global ready to play with. Full 5 of them now, in fact, here, looking for this action, and they'll find him. The global silence will come out. They're looking towards Attacker. They'll drag him back into the stun, into the turret. They've got him. Easy couple of kills for VP as they take the double here for Antares, and they're able to look towards the town. A bit of a pause coming out. See what the reason for that one is, but I mean, you know, there was a lot of tipping coming out earlier, so it's always tempting to pause back. But I'm sure it's not a toxic pause. They wouldn't do that. It's just, you know, something's gone wrong. But if this was me and they've been tipping me, I'm not a pauser, actually. I wouldn't do that. But some people would.
I'd like to spam F9. Watch in the game. That is, some people will do that.
Let's have a look. I mean, you're not defending this tower, right? You just let this tower go.
No. I don't think you really can fight, because what are you fighting back with, right? That's a little bit of a problem with 4Pirates drafts, is that when this type of situation happens in the laning phase, you start, and it breaks up, and you start getting picked apart across the map, then it's really hard to actually fight back. You have no real spells. You have to rely on them running into you and getting more and more farm on your heroes. You have a Yule Scepter queued up by the Bristleback, by the way. That's a different approach.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I think we're super strong against the Ursa. Someone wants to get it. Mr. Morale says I'll be the man to do it.
Can they get the Kunkka here? It would be a very big kill.
Yeah, he's not expecting this, Lorinov. Torrent is going to be dodged and bring him down. Yeah, it was not ready at all for that sort of rotation to come in. Catches him completely by surprise. A good kill there for Natty Narwhal. Getting the gold here as the sniper. Same time around the mid. Taras gets to lead it. So get him with a jump. Lasso TP attempts being made, and I tell you what, it's going to work. He gets out. Ariel. Heads up play from him there. And Natty Narwhal, he might just find a kill off the back. The smoke's there in time, though.
Nice. You know, he actually gave the smoke to the silencer inventory.
Yeah, I saw that as well, because
the smoke was on cooldown from backpack, right? And he gave it over. That was some good stuff.
And that was heads up coming in from Antares. It's the Battle Fury timing done. So, Vichu, stall the chaos. He's having a great game. Got involved in those early kills. 7k net worth there. He's zooming ahead on the gold, and that Battle Fury is only going to speed it up with this early timing in the mid
lane.
They've got the setup, able to walk up, get the X mark. Not able to actually burst him all the way down though. He's still perfectly fine in Natty Narwhal. Didn't quite have enough to truly threaten the sniper here with the three of them.
He's quite tanky actually. When he pops strength threads and has a wand, he's 1500 HP. You need a lot more to bring sniper down. That hero is deceptively tanky.
Yeah, it can be very slippery as well once he's got the Hurricane Pike online and eventually that shard. And it's got ways to get away.
Is this the sign of a good sniper player? The fact that you know how to connect the camps like this between the trees?
Maybe we get the maximum sort of effectiveness with the shrapnels.
I mean, I saw him earlier as well. He pulled both camps, and then there's these trees there.
Yeah.
The one at the bottom and next to the shrine outpost, and then the other two. They kind of make this concave where the creeps run through the shrapnel and get blocked by the tree and farming patterns.
It's looking good for Natty so far. Only caught out the once. 4-1-0 on this sniper. Second highest on the net worth here so far, 14 minutes in. Still, this Ursa is definitely going to be a problem. V-Tune is out of control. Very close to having the Blink Dagger on top of the Battle Fury. And it's got a huge lead as this Ursa. I mean, how is it a good Ursa game, or are there going to be difficulties still, even though the Ursa's this far down the line? Like, do they have good ways to deal with the Ursa?
I mean, the fact that Bristleback is going Eels does help quite a bit, right? They have the Sven armor, not necessarily the easiest targets for Ursa to find in the sniper and the TP. I think it's an okay Ursa game. Obviously, when you start getting Blink Daggers early and start getting Aegis on Ursa, like, the hero pretty much kills anything, right? But I think as the game progresses, it might be harder and harder for him to kill targets in fights. We'll see. That is closing in on his Blink Dagger. That's going to be very, very important for 4Pirates here, for them to be able to make plays. Also just be threatening on the map. They are smoking up here. Pre-blink.
Let's see what they go for with this.
Anticipating this type of mid-wrap around here.
They've seen Laurenoff do this a couple of times where he's just Xing himself and clearing the creep wave, so maybe trying to punish that, but he's got a lot of backup, Laurenoff.
Yeah, it's 5 heroes mid here.
First for the Flame, they're trying to catch Laurenoff first. They will get him, but the Blade Mail comes out in time, as well as the Global Silence. In the middle, V-Tune will make the jump over towards Pedanchik. They brought down the Sven. Now coming in with the ultimate, they're going to try them for Attacker, but Attacker's just able to turn, stand his ground, take down Dahak, and Antares, he's got to run. Assassinate comes in, the Yule's controlled there from Mr. Morale. VP, they try and poke with the 5 of them, but 4Pirates, they're more than happy to turn up and defend, get Attacker involved, and they hold that defense easily.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I'm not sure if this is gonna be the rest of the story for the rest of the game, but there at least we see some of the problems that VP could run into in the future, right? You see the sniper, he's so far away from everybody and still dealing damage. And there's no real good way of getting on top of him, especially when the Kunkka is the one getting jumped first, right? If you don't start the fight with Ursa jumping sniper or somehow locking him down with Marcy or the X-Mark, there's just no way to not get kited backwards, right? And how's DP going to be able to deal damage in this game? It's very difficult, I think.
Yeah, I mean, just because what the Terror Blade and the Sniper, just especially when the meta's up, the two of them can just focus the Death Prophet, and you just got no chance of surviving through that.
Correct. I think this does, you know, it just tells a story that the VP needs to really consider how they take these fights. It's not always that obvious. They still have a lead, they still have good heroes overall, but it's not necessarily an easy way to close out this game against all these backliners and against, you know, these heroes. So I think the Bad Rider with Blink now also gives an opportunity for for 4Pirates to really take the game into their hands and start making plays for themselves.
Oh, for sure, yeah, they can definitely start to try and group up around the Terrorblade, attack and get some of these objectives. Starting to get closer and closer to putting pressure onto the tier 1. And I'd imagine with the way that fight went down as well, like 4Pirates, do you think they would not be afraid if they do feel that like VP's trying to go for some sort of Roshan play? They will be quick, to smoke up and contest it? Or do they let them have it because the team fight around those areas is still a bit too much?
I think it just depends on when VP does it and what the lanes look like and stuff like this. It's not necessarily so clear cut because they do have pretty annoying heroes around the pit, right? Like the goo, what's it called? The hairball, throw it in there, right? The illusion scouting, the sniper shrapnel. Like they have a lot of ways that makes it difficult for VP to just straight up take it in this game. I think around minute 20 we're gonna see them try to attempt because it's harder for Radiant to contest that one potentially. Similarly, the Tormentor might also be a fighting point, as it usually is. But I don't think VP would really go for the Roshan on top lane. It just feels like that high ground there on the left is just the perfect spot for Bristleback to kite back and forth, right? Same with the sniper. Terrain doesn't really play in your favor.
Tier 1 slowly getting chipped away here by the Terrorblade. And you see ready to join him as well, Ariel. If anyone does show up solo, he might look for the Blink Lasso play, and dragging them back into the damage of the Metamorphosis from the Terrorblade could be a chance of a kill. Have to be a bit careful with the TP. Yeah, that's true. That is a little harder now. Unless they've like kind of the sniper or something as well. They've got the 4 of them here. And Maelstrom is online for sniper. He's TPing over as well. So they're going to bring the 5-man up top here for 4Pirates. So what they go for with the smoke? And VP doing a good job of not showing.
Both teams are playing very, very careful. I think that's a good thing. Not getting caught out by the smokes. The same with what we saw earlier, right? When the VP went 5-manning there. Marcy will get caught.
No! Yep, they got him.
Yeah. And that's the Tormentor. And be ready for this one, actually. So really hits up by 4Pirates as well, right? 4-manning, 5-manning this top tower right before the Tormentor spawns. And VP are not in a position where they can take Roshan in return or anything, so...
I mean, if they find V-Tune down here as well, that's going to be pretty insane.
They see him, right?
He's out. He's not sticking around here a moment too long. Yeah, he's away in the trees. And that is the BKB online for him now. So next time, even if they do find him, yeah, this bear's going to be ready to fight back. I see another smoke. Still trying to see if they can make something happen with the Blink Dagger from Ariel's bat.
This time, VP going to be ready. 5 vs 5 heroes here.
Hit it on the Sven. The stun on the Yorza there. They'll be able to hold back the Ursa. Now with the jump forward, the Global Silence will come out. They have the X mark onto Otaka. They're trying to step forward, but he's able to get out from the combo. Otaka's going to be perfectly fine, and now he's considering trying to get back in there. VP, they have to back off. And that's the Global and the Exorcism drop for nothing.
Yeah, again, it's just hard for VP to latch onto any heroes, right? I think that was a very important global. Does he not global there? The Ursa gets lassoed and probably just dies from 100 to 0. He didn't pop BKB, he didn't pop Enrage, so... Yeah, I think that was a very important global, and even then, they don't get anything out of it. In fact, they even lose their mid tower as a result, right? And now, I don't know if 4Pirates have the will to go for Roshan here. But
oh, it could be tempting, right? But those ultimates on cooldown.
I think it's a bit risky, though.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a bit definitely risky.
You got to get past the bristle though, and there's the lasso. And Emira's actually able to get in, get the jump. He's not quite able to drag him down to the low ground, so Dahak's still up there on the high ground. They'll look to try and jump him out of this. The Assassinate's coming in though. He's healing up with the Siphon. It's not enough to stay alive. Dahak falls, and Tyrus goes down as well. And they might even see if they can dive to tier 2. We'll see how much they want to try and push it. The stun comes in from Pedanchik. He's been able to turn, get the boat out in return, but Lorinov still gets peeped down by Natty Narble on the sniper. 4Pirates, dude, these guys are good, Misery.
Yeah, they certainly are. They're making a lot of good moves in this game. Very unique drafts as well. I think it's nice to see, for sure. This was also a good move just because you're not committing for the Roche, right? You're not... Yeah. The goal isn't Roche itself. The goal is that, hey, they don't have Exorcism, they don't have Global. Let's start hitting Roshan, and, well, if they do it, great. If not, then we're going to jump them. And this is exactly what happened. And I don't know, I just think the sniper hero, it's a big problem for VP. How do you get to this guy in the fight? There are so many things that you have to worry about before you get to him. Getting lassoed, the Sven in front, the Bristle in front, right? Even if you do get an all in the sniper, there's still the Terrorblade as well, who's another turret hero, right? That's just gonna output insane amounts of damage. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. You're also buying all this Crimson Guard Vessel, they're good items on DP, but it doesn't help you with the core of the problem. Is that if you cannot get on top of the heroes, then you just don't have a way of winning the fight.
That's I mean, the next fight is going to have this Fulmiona, and that just steps up the damage output from the sniper pretty insanely.
Yeah, it's also nice combo the way they're thinking about this Bristleback hero. I don't know if this is intentional, but the fact that he's this Goo, Bristleback, and then they have these backliners. Last game was Clinks, this game it's Sniper, right? It makes a lot of sense. You get all this minus armor, and it's hard to play against.
Yeah. And even for Vichum, right, on this Ursa, he's been having a super clean game. He's been smashing the timings, but to try and carry as an Ursa into this, kind of in particular, the Sniper and the Terrorblade that were able to sort of kite him out, it's so difficult. He's got a lot on his hands here as the Ursa.
Definitely hard game for VP to play. They're definitely not out of it, though. They are setting up this fight here. Sniper is hitting the tower, showing on vision. He does have the Aegis though, but this is maybe an opportunity for them to jump him actually.
Yeah, let's see if they can do it twice. Get the drag back into the blow. Stun holds back the three of them though. They can't take him out that cleanly. He's not even going to go down the once, and now he's ready to turn. They've got the lasso on a Dahak. He'll die. Well, just a bit of a bait. I mean, it did feel like that, 4Pirates, they were ready. They were, come at me, bro. They weren't scared at all.
No, they weren't. Also, normally when the sniper hits like that and you get jumped, you imagine him dying much faster, the first life at least, right? But he doesn't even lose the Aegis. And then the three-man Ravage from Storm, like the Sven Stormhammer comes out. Also kind of crazy idea that this hero is going to stun 3 heroes in the fight, right? VP are still lingering around though. Not sure what they are considering here. Are we just gonna go high ground? That's I mean, they got what?
Yeah, 2 minutes on the Aegis. I guess they're gonna give it a shot.
Yeah. Meta.
VP, what do you do? Are they gonna try and jump this from the back and just see what happens?
That's at least what they're thinking, but like, I understand why they're hesitating. It's not.
Yeah, they're like, do we really want to do this?
It doesn't look easy, yeah.
They're losing the
hoping
base.
Somebody's out of position, right? Like, angle.
Okay, they're going to try and make the jump. They're in with the global silence. They get the control on towards Attacker, but already that's both supports dead. Ursa's trying to stay on top of Attacker, but he can't. The lasso's there. They lock down Vichin. He'll get the enrage off and try and run. But see on the back lines, you've got Mr. Morale just kiting Lorinov, forcing the Kunkka back. Natty Narble finishes off the Ursa. They can dive down and chase out the Kunkka as well. They get the kills, they get the barracks. 4Pirates. People have got to start very quickly taking this team seriously. They've turned up today, and in this first series against VP, they're upsetting one of the favorites massively.
Yeah, this is pretty crazy, but I mean, it's put VP or like any team in the position that they were in 2 minutes ago from that high ground. It just doesn't look like it's really possible to take a good fight, right? There's just something about it. They're just getting outraged every fight, right? How many times in this game have we seen the DP get in this middle spot, right, where she's committed, but she can't really get to anyone, and then she starts running away and just dies, right? That seems to be the problem with this hero is facing in this particular game, at least.
So they got
again, yeah.
Another one.
Again dies again, yeah. Maybe this is the... Yeah, we gotta stop banning sniper against these guys. It's too much to deal with.
It's certainly looking like it. Natty Narble only been caught the once this game.
Yeah, and that was in the river at minute 6 or whatever it was.
Yeah, the very just early death. It's the age is gone, but they got a lot done with it, pushing the game up to a 12k lead now here in game 2 for Pirates.
Okay, we see is Kunkka gonna get caught here. He's getting chased by a lot of heroes. Yeah.
That's close.
That was close, actually. But I mean, just to make a comparison, for example, with the Sven 5, I think looks pretty strong.
Yep.
Comparing it to the Naga, for example, from last game, what really is the incentive to pick Naga over Sven? I feel like Sven just looks like a better fight. It's easier to play. It keeps things simple, right? You just follow people around. You have a nice stun. You give armor. It's just there's not all these like shenanigans and hard execution. I just think it looks really good. I think we're gonna see more of the Sven 5. Combos really well with a wide range of ranged carries, right?
Oh yeah, it does. The lane, you know, is they didn't necessarily win it or anything, but you know, attacker gets out of it. Still with a good amount of farm. And we see it at this point of the game, he's managed to catch right back up as the Terrorblade. And yeah, just saw the timings, the way they're able to move around the map, push for these objectives, and seemingly be too much for VP to fight into as a team. I'll see 4Pirates. Let's see what the call's going to be next. Smoke coming out from VP, yeah. They've got to find something. They've got the ultimates, but they have to be sure that they can kill someone off, ideally one of the big targets, either the sniper or the Terrorblade, during the coverage of the global silence. It's full butterfly now line for attacker.
Seems to be an okay angle here they're coming from, but actually 4Pirates move out of the river. So now they're just kind of circling around each other.
I just got to start tickling the place. Yeah, they got to do something soon at VP. And 4Pirates are going to definitely start to figure out where it is likely that VP's trying to strike from. The coasts are out. They're going to try and run into this. They're looking towards attackers. See if they can bring down this Terrorblade. They'll catch him in the torrent, but he's forced out to the side. He'll get the sun drop. Back up to full HP here. And Vitrian, he's going to try and do his best to stay on top of attacker, but he cannot do so. Has to fall back. They've lost the master. They've lost the hack. They only managed to kill off the support Sven.
Yeah, I mean, that's a Terrorblade with butterfly, right? You're not gonna 100-0 this guy with all the support behind him. And again, they just get kited, right? Once they reveal themselves and 4Pirates start scattering around the fight and they start showing shrapnel down and the flame break, napalms on the ground, stuff like this, then they're just gonna get kited.
They're trying to go on attack again. They've got the egg smart. Try with a pullback here, but attacker just living on the edge, and he's getting away with it. Because Lorinov dies for his efforts. He's out for 50 seconds, no buyback. The push can continue here if they want from 4Pirates. Assassinate coming in. It's a dead silencer.
What a terrible matchup that has to be. The silencer sniper. You just don't do anything to the sniper in the game.
Definitely not a fun one for Ryan. Had a pretty good start, was getting some early in, but at this point, cannot step anywhere close to the fight. Has to sit back and just get ready to press R. That's about it. That's the mid-rank gone.
Gotta comment the Mr. Morale as well with this Yule's pickup, right? The face Yule's build, adjusting his item build from last game to this game where he's playing against Ursa, he's playing against Silencer and DP, right? And X-Mark as well. Like, Yule's is an amazing item in this game.
Yeah, maybe just the hero in particular on this player. The team's got to respect him. They've got 2 lane matchups, which could have been tough ones. You know, laning against a Drow, laning against an Ursa, but for Mr. Morale, it was easy. Nice road.
Do you have any more smokes on VP? It doesn't look like it. And the smoke at the Roshan is already dead.
There we go. Immediately smoked up here behind the Ursa. Daedalus online now here for the sniper. This might be VP's last attempt here in this series. If it doesn't go too hot. They've been found.
They used to banner on the high ground. They see everybody.
Otaka just immediately kills Antares. Antares tries to get on top of Otaka. Otaka turns, takes him down. They clean up the hack. The rest of the team will try and bail out of here. They will make it away. But of course, 4Pirates, they don't care at all. They don't need to kill heroes. They're just ready to kill the base. Springing in the creep wave and ready to start eyeing up that final set of barracks up on the top lane.
Yeah, this looks like it's game. I mean, there's really nothing you can really do at VP at this point.
It's VP. Do they have a final fight in them? Lasso's there. They've caught the Kunkka. Loronov's out. He doesn't have buyback.
The thing is, even every fight, it's like they don't even get to take the fight, right?
I saw it, yeah.
They don't really get to click spells. They're all...
Oh, look at that. The GG's had a little bit of a smiley face coming out there from them. I think they're going to be pretty excited about this one, 4Pirates, and fair play. They've turned up first round here at the Western Europe Regional Qualifiers, and they've made it look pretty easy against VP, to be honest, Misery. This was quite an upset, and they did it in their own style.